Do you know the moon once called me at 3:33 a.m. and told me to stop manifesting love spells on my ex? True story. She said, "You're not ready. But I'll give you a show, watch me bleed." And just like that, the blood moon appeared, and let me tell you, it wasn't just celestial theatrics. It was spiritual surgery. This isn't just another moon phase. This is the blood moon, a celestial cipher, a divine omen cloaked in scarlet shadow. It has terrified kings, inspired shamans, and cracked open the astral eye of many who dared to stare too long. Tonight, we're not just watching the sky, we're decoding it. Because behind that red glow lies a message. Not from NASA. Not from your horoscope app. But from the deepest vaults of time, buried in the subconscious of the cosmos. In this video, we're going to unlock the esoteric meaning of the blood moon like never before. You'll discover why this lunar event has been revered and feared across cultures. Why it stirs your emotions. Why some say it marks the closing of karmic contracts and the opening of spiritual portals. And yes, we'll even explore what you should never do during one. But first, subscribe, because on this channel, we don't chase algorithms. We chase awakening. Now, let's pull back the veil. Long before telescopes and time-lapse videos, when the earth was still draped in myth and every star had a name whispered in ritual, the blood moon was not just watched, it was feared, honored, and interpreted as a sign from the divine. In Babylon, priests would climb temple towers and fast for days before a lunar eclipse. They believed the blood moon was a warning, a celestial prophecy of war, famine, or the fall of a ruler. In fact, the king would often hide himself during such an event, leaving a temporary stand-in king on the throne, just in case the gods were feeling murderous that evening. The Inca believed a jaguar was attacking the moon. As it bled red, they would shout, shake spears, and even bang drums to scare the beast away. If the jaguar succeeded in devouring the moon, it was said it would descend next to devour mankind. In India, scriptures such as the Rigveda and the Puranas link lunar eclipses with the demon Rahu, who chases the sun and moon across the sky. When he catches them, we witness an eclipse, a moment when illusion, Maya, devours truth, light, only for the light to eventually return stronger. And in the secret schools of Hermeticism and Kabbalah, the blood moon was seen as a gateway, a brief opening between realms. The physical veil thins. The emotional tides surge. The subconscious becomes raw and exposed. To those attuned, this wasn't danger, it was opportunity. An invitation to confront the darkness within. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. In almost every tradition, from the temples of Egypt to the Dreamtime stories of the Aboriginal Australians, the red moon is linked with shadow work. It is the cosmic mirror dipped in blood. It doesn't show who you pretend to be. It shows who you are when no one is watching. The parts of you you've exiled, buried, denied, they rise. Not to destroy you, but to be seen. To be integrated. To be healed. The blood moon is not punishment. It is purification. And if that sounds poetic, remember, every ancient poet was once a mystic in disguise. Now that we've cracked open the historical vault, we're ready to explore the core meanings of this lunar phenomenon in a way few ever do. Let's now dive into the esoteric decoding of the blood moon. Why it affects your dreams, your emotions, and even the timing of fate itself. When the moon turns blood red, it doesn't just signal a rare celestial event, it activates something primal, something ancient, something buried deep within the psyche. But here's the secret most astrologers and New Age blogs won't tell you, the blood moon isn't evil. It's surgical. It's not chaos, it's karmic precision. The mechanics of meaning, astronomically, a blood moon occurs during a total lunar eclipse, when the Earth comes between the Sun and the Moon. The Earth's shadow blocks the direct light from the Sun, and the Moon glows red due to the Rayleigh scattering of sunlight filtered through Earth's atmosphere. That's the science. But spiritually, this alignment represents interruption, a symbolic break in the transmission between conscious awareness, sun, emotional memory, moon, and physical reality, earth. And when this trinity of alignment fractures, what slips through the cracks is the unseen. This is why so many people experience emotional surges, strange dreams, sudden revelations, or even inexplicable dread during a blood moon. The conscious light is dimmed. The subconscious rises. The blood, why red matters in ancient mysticism. Red is not just a color. It is the frequency of urgency, of the root chakra, of survival, of anger, of desire. When the moon, a symbol of intuition, reflection, and the feminine principle, is bathed in red, it brings the sacred feminine into confrontation with the primal. You are asked to reclaim the parts of you you've suppressed. Ever felt irrationally triggered during a blood moon? That's not irrational. That's your soul's inbox finally being opened after years of spiritual spam filters. The blood moon highlights emotional residue from past traumas, unresolved karmic loops, repressed desires you fear to speak aloud and often. A sense of being called to something deeper, but not knowing what. The mirror analogy, imagine your soul as a temple. During most moon phases, the mirror in that temple is slightly fogged, blurry with ego, projection, and routine. But under a blood moon, that mirror becomes clear. Brutally clear. You see the cracks in your mask. The fears you've dressed up as personality. You see the rage behind the smile. The sorrow beneath the productivity. And the mirror? It doesn't blink. It just waits. For you to decide what to do with what you see. Sacred geometry and the blood moon. In esoteric schools, lunar eclipses are often mapped onto sacred symbols like the Vesica piscis, two overlapping circles, creating the almond-shaped eye of perception. During a blood moon, that intersection widens energetically. It's the symbolic birth canal of higher awareness. A gateway through which you can either confront your inner death, or be reborn. And here's the truth, most people sleep through it. Or scroll through it. But those who tune in, who meditate, fast, or perform conscious rituals during this window, often report visions, intuitive downloads, or even timelines collapsing and restarting. The blood moon doesn't force you to change. It gives you the sword. You choose whether to wield it, or keep bleeding. Let's now step deeper, beyond the symbolic and into the energetic architecture of the blood moon. Because this isn't just a dramatic sky show. It's a karmic checkpoint, a cosmic audit. And if you've ever felt like your life flips, speeds up, or collapses around a blood moon, you're not imagining it. You're just more aware than most. The karmic trigger, every blood moon drags a key into the lock of your past. In esoteric astrology, lunar eclipses are known to unlock karma. Especially the kind inherited through bloodlines. That's right. Your great-grandmother's unfinished grief, your grandfather's suppressed guilt, the family patterns you swore you'd never repeat. They all stir under this moon. Why? Because the moon governs not only emotions but also ancestral memory. It holds the soul's history in the waters of the subconscious. And during a blood moon, that gate opens. Suddenly, you feel things you can't name. You dream of people you've never met. You ache in places you didn't injure. It's not confusion. It's remembrance. Soul contracts and blood moon births. Some souls are born under a blood moon, or reincarnate into bodies aligned with these eclipses. These individuals often carry old karmic roles tied to priesthoods, oracles, or spiritual warfare. A life filled with emotional intensity, shadow work, and spiritual awakenings. A strange sense that they're here for something. Even if they can't define it, they are often spiritual catalysts, triggering awakenings in others, sometimes just by being near. These are not light-duty lifetimes. These are souls trained in higher realms to anchor transformation in chaos. If that sounds like you, chances are your soul chose the blood moon as a signpost, because only in red shadow would you remember what you came to do. Why it affects people differently. Ever wonder why some people sob uncontrollably, while others sleep like babies during an eclipse. Because the blood moon interacts with your unique energetic blueprint. It amplifies whatever you've hidden. If you're repressing grief, it rises. If you've denied your gifts, they surface violently. If you've been lying to yourself, you might accidentally sabotage your own comfort zone. This moon doesn't punish, it reveals. And what's revealed can either liberate you, or haunt you. The choice is yours. Psychic downloads and timeline shifts. There are moments during blood moons, especially in the hours just before totality, where reality bends. Have you ever experienced déjà vu that feels too real? People from your past reaching out unexpectedly. Sudden intuitive hits that turn out to be true. That's not just coincidence. It's a rippling in your personal timeline. The eclipse forces a course correction. Think of it as a celestial reboot, one you didn't consciously request but desperately needed. You might lose a job. You might meet someone you feel you've known forever. You might cry for no reason at all. But underneath it all, your soul is whispering, good. The old self is dying. Let it. The occult truth, in deeper occult teachings. Those passed in whispers and not in books, the blood moon is tied to what's called the crimson veil. It is the veil between dimensions stained by emotion. Not just sadness or rage, but raw, unfiltered truth. During this time, magic becomes louder, intentions become spells, and mirrors don't lie. Practitioners of ceremonial magic, root work, and energy healing often use blood moons to perform banishings, cut karmic cords, charge sacred tools under enhanced lunar current, access akashic memories in trance. But even if you don't consider yourself a mystic, the effects still reach you. Ignorance of the weather doesn't stop you from getting wet in the rain. The blood moon asks only one thing of you: are you brave enough to look within, while the light is turned off? If you are, you'll find things you didn't know you lost. And lose things you didn't know were holding you back. So, now you know, the blood moon isn't just a cosmic photo op, it's a spiritual reset button wrapped in red velvet shadow. But let's bring this down from the sky and into your ritual space. How do you actually use this energy? How do you work with it instead of getting steamrolled by it? Here's your guide. 1. The shadow work ritual. Whatever you refuse to confront, you unconsciously worship. This is the ritual to perform during a blood moon. Because the eclipse energy forces the subconscious to the surface. What you'll need: a mirror, a black candle, a journal. Complete silence. What to do: light the black candle. Black absorbs and transforms energy. Gaze into the mirror, not to fix your face, but to meet your shadow. Ask out loud, what part of me have I abandoned? What truth do I fear to speak? Write whatever surfaces, without censoring. Even if it's ugly. Especially if it's ugly. End with this affirmation. I reclaim all of me, dark and light, as sacred. Expect emotional release. You may cry, shake, or feel nothing at all at first. That's okay. The moon heard you. 2. Karmic cord cutting ceremony. Use the blood moon to cut ties to outdated people, habits, and timelines. Tools: red thread, to represent the karmic bond, scissors or white candle, steps, write down the person, habit, or belief you want to release. Tie the red thread around the paper and speak this spell aloud. By blood and shadow, I sever what no longer serves. Burn the paper safely, or tear it, then cut the thread. Say, this tie is now dissolved across all timelines. End with meditation. Imagine light returning to the space the bond once occupied. 3. Don't do these during a blood moon. Don't start new romantic relationships. This is a time for clarity, not illusion. The energy is too unstable for true foundations. Avoid major decisions unless they feel absolutely undeniable. Don't suppress emotions. They'll only get louder. Don't perform manifesting rituals. Blood moons are for release, not attraction. You don't build a house during an earthquake, you clear the rubble. 4. Energy realignment meditation. Sit under the moonlight, barefoot if possible. Visualize the red glow pouring into your crown like molten fire. As it travels down your body, imagine it dislodging old stories, burning through limiting beliefs. Let it pool in your root chakra. Say, I am safe in the fire. I am reborn from the ash. Just 10 minutes of this can radically shift your energy. 5. Sigil charging with sacred geometry. Take a sacred shape, like a Merkaba, flower of life, or hexagram, and draw your intention at the center. Not a wish, an identity. Example, instead of, I want peace, write, I am anchored in divine calm. Charge the sigil under the blood moon, speaking your truth into it. Then hide it somewhere sacred. Beneath your pillow, altar, or worn close to your body. This sigil will now vibrate with blood moon energy, potent, transformative, and deeply personal. The blood moon doesn't make your life fall apart. It shows you where you're already cracked, and offers you the tools to rebuild with honesty. Use this time. Feel deeply. Forgive fiercely. And above all, be honest with yourself. Because that scarlet light is more than sky drama. It's an invitation. To stop pretending. To start healing. To become who you were before the world told you to forget. The blood moon is not bad luck. It's divine exposure. It pulls back the curtain, strips the mask, and asks you one thing: are you ready to face yourself? If you are, it will show you your truth, unfiltered, raw, and powerful. Remember, it's a time for release, not manifestation. A time for truth, not pretending. A time for soul work, not surface fixes. Honor the red moon. Don't just watch it, work with it. And watch how life rearranges itself around your courage. If this stirred something in you, subscribe. Because on this channel, we don't chase comfort, we chase clarity. Until next time. Let the shadow teach. Let the moon bleed. Let your soul remember.